Okay, so I know a lot of you are thinking I should record this over a month ago. You really should. But in my defense, I was busy. Yeah, I was busy. I mean, we had the World Cup playoffs, and then obviously the expansion process began the week after. We successfully defended the World Cup, and all that. But yeah, yeah, the disaster trip to Philly and all that. Yeah, less said better. Yeah. So this has maybe been the first opportunity I've had to get this recorded, because obviously I've been busy with a lot of Purple Rain content. Yeah. I'm pleased to welcome my very special guest, who you will of course recognise from Disneyland and Me. It's my virtual park co-host, Sarita Paz Pluto, who of course is the York Islanders supporter of my hockey park. Yeah. So I definitely need to get you on here, because you are going to have the best aspect of this. Because yes, the York Islanders, and I'm going to get the results on my phone so you can. Yeah, very much. Yeah, the York Islanders out of nowhere won the draft lottery back on, what was it, May the 5th? Yes, it was May the 5th. Yeah. Yeah. What was your reaction to that though? While I load the results up for the draft. I could not believe it. I mean, was it 10 spots we moved up? I think it was a big one. I mean, he's looking at you thinking, no way would we have a chance to, get the first overall pick. But it's just, I just don't think anybody can believe it. Not even. Did you have a chance to watch the broadcast? I did, yes. So you notice that even the broadcasters themselves were like, what? Even I think they were not expecting that. No one was expecting that. No. But hey ho. Yeah, hey ho. That is, really is. And it's the first time the Islanders have won the draft lottery since 2009. Can you remember who put that then? John Tavares. Yep. That was a great steal. So pressure's on us, because it's expectations. We're hoping we get another good picking. 25. Yeah, I mean, John Tavares was a great steal for you back there. And the reason I know that is because obviously when he was being traded 2018, I was one of the finalists. You were. Instead, he went to Toronto. I remember that very well, because I was surprised. Why would he go? I mean, no disrespect. Why would he go to you? I know, right? Given how we're still a perennial playoff contender, but we're still struggling to try and find a way to get into the finals. Yeah, because I thought, when it goes for us, would that mean we could get back to the finals again quickly? I don't know. Yeah. But I would rather have had him and Eric Carlson. Oh no. The consolation prize. I like here in the UK, any consolation prizes, it was a shit outcome. Anyway, but I think I've got the results of the entry draft on my phone. Because the internet, my laptop's been playing up, so I'm not going to trust that to crash and burn while we're in the middle of recording. So it does remind people, I'll come in more to the top. It does remind people that only the top 2 picks were determined by a lottery. The remaining teams were slotted in by the order of their finish in the standings. That's the first 16 picks. And then picks 17 to 32 are to be determined by the results of the playoffs, depending on any trades that have been made. Oh god, it's gonna be so much high hopes on me now next year. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Because whenever you get your two draft first overall pick, everyone's going to be looking at you thinking, right, well, you better improve next year, or you better be a playoff contender. Yeah, it doesn't really work like that. No. I mean, both Commodore and Max Living in the last years have made instant impacts, but their teams have not got anywhere close to getting back the playoff picture. Never mind be cup contenders. Yeah. And I've not actually had that bad the last few years. I've made the playoffs a decent chunk. I mean, I think the only time I missed it, I think, was 22. I can't remember. I think it might be 2022. Or maybe I got... You have done very well the last few years in qualifying. Yeah. But maybe this overall pick, this first overall pick will bolster your chances of maybe of not being a wildcard team. Because you spent the last 2 times as a wildcard team and faced Carolina, so maybe getting the first one track could maybe put you back in the conversation for a top 3 spot in a very crowded Metro division. Right, got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, the Islanders won the draft lottery, and then I won the second lottery to determine that I would be going second. I was like, yes! Because you did not want to pick first. I just know. Because the rules are, you cannot pick first more than 2 consecutive years in a row. So if I'd won this year's draft lottery, which I think a lot of people were expecting me to win, then I would not be able to pick first again, probably until the 2030s. Yeah, we don't want that. Now, especially when next year, draft class is supposed to be a really robust draft. There's going to be a lot of people fighting for that. I would not be surprised if you remember we had the season going into McDavid and Eichel's draft when Edmonton and Buffalo massively tanked. Yeah. I would not be surprised if we see that again, because a lot of people think that next year's draft is going to be a really, really robust, high quality draft. So teams could easily tank again. Yeah. I think that would be interesting. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting for next season not to see who's going to be at the top of the pile, who's at the bottom of the pile, fighting for the right to get those first 2 picks. Yeah, because the draft odds are going to be really interesting for next year. Yeah. Yeah, apparently next year for both the AHL and the PHL, the draft classes sound promising. So that could be really good, especially if the PHL goes for another expansion round. Next year, we don't know that for certain. It could be, we know. But it's going to be exciting. 2026 sounds like it's going to be a really great draft year. Yeah, but of course, we've got to get to this one first. And right. Why are people talking about next year? But focus on this year, please. I know, right. Live in the moment. What's happened to the good old-fashioned days of living in the moment? Why is everyone now planning ahead for the future? Stay in the present. It's lovely. So, you were desperate not to go first. I was desperate not to go first, because I knew that meant I would not have a good chance of a top draft pick next year. And I do think that next year, I'm hoping for some improvement, especially as I do think Ascot is going to get more ice time in the AHL, given our netmind situation. But I don't think we're going to be anywhere close to playoff contention next year. But I do not want to be at the bottom for a 3rd year in a row. Well, you waited this season thinking you might be, 7-6? I thought that was possible, in my vision. Not be where we were this time last year. And yet, last year we deserved that. This year we did not deserve to be where we were this year. Nah. That's the way the game goes. Way the game goes, I'm afraid. Plus, there was a lot of balance of power being shifted, because obviously we had Utah come in. And nobody expected Nashville to crash and burn. I know, right. Tell me about it. Yeah. So I was really pleased that I got the 2nd overall pick, because it does mean that I am still eligible to pick first again if I was to win next year's draft lottery. So it's not great how that's 2 years in a row now we've had pack teams get to make the first overall pick. We had me last year. We have you this year. And of course, we also have a pack team hosting the whole thing. Yeah, because the Kings, who of course are a ladies' team, I'm sure you heard me mention about that plenty of times on Purple Rain when they've come on for some of those episodes. That is their team. They are hosting this year's draft. So all eyes are going to be on LA for the week. Yeah, so only Boston, Philadelphia have not got high luck. But as about to go for them, 4 of the pack teams are in the first 16 picks. It's only LA who are going to be the second half of the first round. Due to the fact, obviously, the Kings were the only pack team this year to qualify for the playoffs. And we didn't see Boston going the way they did. Nope. No, last in their conference. Even Buffalo finished higher than Boston in the conference. Did you expect to struggle this year, or did you think it could be a wild card? Because you were wild card last year, right? Yeah. When we got to Christmas, I wasn't sure how we were gonna do, and then when it got to staying series, I kind of felt, yeah, it's a bit of a long shot from there, because obviously both Columbus and Detroit were causing ruckuses are in there as well, and I just thought, yeah, it's not really looking good for me. So you started to then turn your attention to where you're going to be in the draft. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Kind of advises how you get stage series. If you are sort of out of the picture, that's where you kind of tend to start looking at my draft odds. Yeah. That's what you tend to. Although next year it'll be after Olympics that people start thinking that, because obviously next year's stage series is going to be the last marquee event before the Olympics. Yeah. So it'll be after Olympic break. That's when people start thinking, well, if I'm not going to be anywhere close, then you start thinking, right, what are my potential odds going to be? In the draft. So do you want me to go through the order first, and then we can talk more about how you thought first? Yeah. Okay. So we've already gone for the first two selections. So if you want to just hang there, and I'll go through the rest of the order, and you can give me some oohs and ahs if you're feeling up for it. So do it on the first 2 picks. So we'll pick it up from pick 3. So the third overall pick belongs to Chicago. Yeah. Nobody likes it when Chicago gets a draft high. Nobody likes it. 4th pick goes to the Mammoth. Oh no. Mammoth get the 4th pick. Well, so that means we won't have to wait long before we get to have a first look at those ugly New Jerseys. And they won't be the only ones. 5th overall pick belongs to Nashville. So that's a good high pick for the Predators. But we'll see how well they utilise it. 6th overall pick is the Philadelphia Flyers. 7th overall pick, Boston Bruins. 8th overall pick, Seattle Kraken. So again, the Kraken have got another good slot. They've got another pick in the top 10 the first round. That's pretty good for a very young team like the Kraken. So that's very good there for them. 9th overall pick belongs to the Buffalo Sabres. Rounding out the top 10 is Ducky. Ducky's got the 10th pick. The 11th pick goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, you don't want the 12th pick. 12th pick will also go to Pittsburgh as part of the JT Miller trade that the Rangers and the Canucks did. Okay, thank you for that. So the Penguins will have back-to-back picks. Yeah, okay. So 11 and 12 picks belong to the Penguins. So take from pick 30. So pick 30 is the Detroit Red Wings. Pick 40 is the Columbus Blue Jackets. Pick 15 is the Vancouver Canucks, and 16th pick belongs to the Montreal Canadiens. That's by the Calgary Flames. You can check out the rest of the draft audio for yourselves on the AHL's website, but we're only going to go through the results of the first 16 there. Yeah. But yeah, so you moved up 10 spots. I literally just could not. I literally spent the rest of the night just being like, just running around screaming. I know you did. Because I just kind of. I remember the rest of the pack being like, oh my bloody god. We're not going to hear the end of this for days. And of course, me and Peter and Lenny were about to get ready for the World Cup playoffs, so that meant the third upper Easterners with you had to basically put with you for a whole month going around screaming, "I've got the first pick!" But you couldn't believe it. You could not believe it. You were going to make the first overall pick. Well, I mean, all the teams, it just felt so unlikely. But this is what happens when you do it by a lottery. Who knows which balls are going to pop out. Oh, I knew I was going to set him off. I knew I was going to do that. Why did you say it then? If you knew that was going to set me off, why did you say it? I just wondered if you were going to have maybe some self-control. No! Not when it comes to balls! Why did you do it? Oh my god. Yeah, it was look at the draw, really. Just say that. Just say look at the draw and move swiftly on, please. Swiftly move on now before it gets even more dirty. No, I just couldn't believe it, and there is going to be pressure on me now because I don't know if we really need to go for a rebuild or not need to go for a rebuild. Well, shall I build the standings just to give people an idea of where you were going into the draft lottery? Alright. And you carry on with your thought, yeah. So, I mean, did we need to go for a rebuild? Do we not need to go for a rebuild? But everyone's not going to think we're not going to need to accelerate the possibility of a rebuild because we're going to have the first overall perk. Well, not necessarily. I think you can get away without needing to do a rebuild. Because, okay, this season the Islanders weren't anywhere near contention, but in the last few years the Islanders have done very well in managing to qualify. Yeah. So, look at a team like that, you think, well, they don't really need to do that big of a rebuild. Maybe a couple of tweaks near and then. But I don't think you need to worry about a rebuild next year, sweet. I really don't. You just need to make sure you go for the right pick. Yeah. Because I don't think, we head into Friday, I don't think there is a clear consensus on who's going to go first overall. Is that fair? Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's really not clear. It's really not clear. There are a lot of candidates, but it's not really clear who we could definitely go with. Okay, right. Well, to put into context, the Islanders this season had a record of 35, 12 for a total of 82 points. That is 12th in the Eastern Conference, and in terms of your division in the Metropolitan, that puts you in 6th place. And in terms of the league standings, just to get the overall picture, th 23rd. So, yeah. So, yeah, massive job for you there. Massive job in terms of odds and spots there. But I think that's what's brilliant about the draft lottery is that really anybody's really in the mix until we get to that final. Until we get to that 4th and final ball, yeah, because that's when really teams will then start to be eliminated off the board, yeah, and you could see which number you need to get the pick, yeah. Yeah. You know what it kind of remind me of? This is going to show my age. National Lottery. Yes! Yes! Yeah. Oh yes, because of course they still did those when you and yeah. Yes. Of course. It reminds me of, back in the noughties when the National Lottery did actually hold actual live draws. We actually had to see the actual machines and the balls spinning around and coming out one by one, and thinking which saddos have just lost £5 on that week's lottery ticket. These days, it's just a random commercial during prime time ITV. It is. Yeah. National Lottery results have lost its flair these days. Yes, these days, it's pretty much on commercial telly during one ad break. Here are tonight's lottery results. Oh fuck! There were none of my numbers. It's the wrong number! It wonders! It's lost all flair. It really has. But that's what watching this draft lottery card moment, because we got to see the actual... We actually got to see the actual process play out. It just made me put fingers on the National Lottery. It felt like we just got transported back to the noughties. And Alan Dedicote's about to rebuild tonight's balls. And the bonus ball is number 13. Yeah, because in National Lottery you get how many numbers it is, and there's always like a bonus ball, and then which is actually more exciting than the actual numbers that came out. So how have you, because obviously it's been more than a month now, probably 6 weeks maybe, since you've had that news. How do you feel? Completely over the moon. Because I did not see this coming. It was likely you were looking more maybe either you, Chicago, Nashville, or Daku as contenders. Yeah, that would have been fair. Yeah, that would have been fair. And I was like, please not me, please not me, please not me. Yeah, so I was like, oh, what number did you need? I think it was number 8 I needed. Oh, your birthday number? Yep. My birthday number. It's the day I was born. Not my... Yeah, the day I was born was the 8th of November. Yeah, 1996. So, that would have been my... Yeah, so I need number 8. My birthday day number. Finger yeah, so I did not take it, and yeah, just so speculation. But of course, the NHL.com journalists. Oh, did they do what they did with me last year? Do these journalists get a kick out of this? Why is it after every draft lottery that you have NHL.com writing articles about, oh, do you reckon so-and-so's interested in trading away? No, he fucking isn't! What pillock in their right mind would trade away the first overall draft pick? That's like saying, oh, is so-and-so they're going to put salt and vinegar on their chips. It's a guaranteed. They did with me last year. It's like, hold the fucking phone. Yeah. Like, literally, hold the fucking phone. Alright? It's not a swing. It's got on charge. You don't know me, you don't know me. Literally, hold the fucking phone. Last year was Mac and Cerebrini. We're not passing that up. Plus, this might be the only chance I get to make the first overall pick for the next potentially 20 to 30 years. Let me have my moment. They did it with you. They did it with me. They're like, seriously? Really? I mean, really? I know you lot were expecting me to win, but do you honestly think I'm going to trade that away? No! No. No! It's like saying to George, do you fancy a Coke? And my answer will be, of course I fucking do! Yeah, it's not like George is going to say no to that. I know, right? Or to a Cadbury's Dairy Milk. Or a Diet Coke. It's like, so why did he do it? Why did he even do it? Why did he get a kick out of it? I mean, why is he there? You know that's useless for the draft lottery. You know they're going to have the first overall pick. They're not going to trade that away, no matter how, not even for what, say, I don't know, $20 billion. No amount of money or amount of trade leverage is going to make somebody give away the first overall draft pick. It ain't happening. So why do we do it? Because they're journalists, George, and they've got nothing better to do but write nasty comments and false and misinformation and fake news and cancel lots of celebrities. Yeah. But it's just pathetic. It's pathetic. We get this every year. It's just so pathetic. Because nobody in their right mind is going to trade away the honour to make the first overall draft pick. Otherwise, what was the point of having the dreadful season you had? We did not go through the horrors that we went through last year to then give away the right to take Marcus Cerverini. So, and he's not going to do the same either. On Friday, the New York Islanders are going to make the first overall draft pick. If you can't handle that, you're in the wrong business, love. You're in the wrong game. If you can't handle that, you're in the wrong game. No sports team who gets the first overall draft pick is going to not make the first overall draft pick. It should be a written bylaw. So why do media do it? I know. It's like, can you not let us enjoy our moment in the sun for these 4 to 6 weeks while we're missing out on the chance to be in the playoffs? I know, right? Just seriously, it's pathetic. And I bet this time next year we'll have the exact same thing. So whoever wins next year's draft lottery, chances are, 2 days later, someone's going, right, could they be in talks to do it straight away? No, they fucking won't! They will not. No, they fucking won't. Are you on drugs? I know. Are you on actual fucking drugs? Dread, honestly. Every year we get this every single year and it's pissing me off. Pissing me off. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to make a guess to close out before who you could be getting, or nah? I honestly, I don't regret it because I've not seen the list. I'm not either because obviously the PHR has been full swing since we defended our crown. My bad days. Yeah, so I'm not seeing either. So I'm just gonna go. You are following the draft, right? Yes. Yeah, I am. So I'm just gonna go into this weekend and be just blind because I've not seen the list, so I'm just gonna enter blind. So yeah, well, I'm not even gonna dare try and make a guess because I think it's too wide open. There are too many possibilities of who could get that we could be drafting. So it could be anybody. So basically what you're saying in preparation for Friday is potentially brace for a shock. Yeah. Because I've got no clue what our GM's going to be thinking. Wilsey probably didn't expect he was going to be in this position now. So I think he's got to do what's right for the team. He's got to look at where he thinks the team's going now and make a call there. So we could maybe contend for playoffs again next year. But probably as a wildcard team, which I would take. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but congratulations. Okay. You are still a complete high on jubilation. But I think a lot of the pack are so looking forward to Friday because that's when you'll get brought back down to earth. Because once you've made that pick, you're basically back with the rest of us scum. It was like with me last year. Once the pick was made, it was Max over here. It was like, right, okay, back down to earth. The novelty's now worn off. Yep. But I think you earned the right to celebrate. I mean, literally, I was in. Well, it's complete context because obviously last year you were in complete shock that you won it. I mean, you had the best odds. Yeah, but there was no guarantee I was going to win win it. Bad is. I mean, we look back on in 2023. Yeah, of course. So, but yeah. I think about that. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, I was not expecting it. So it was a big shock. Contrast to you, where you just complete. jubilation, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. But okay, so yeah, so there you go. So it's been lovely to have you on. I know it's been amazing. I don't know why it's taken 7 years into doing to report for me to get a pack member on the show. I know, but anyway, but I felt because it's about the draft lottery, I thought it best to get what the pack member relates to the team into the reaction as well to mine. So yeah, and we are going to be doing these more often next year. We're going to be doing one where we recap who's won the draft lottery and all that. So get used to these now. I'm going to say. Yep. So the actual draft is this weekend. It's 27th, 28th of June in LA. First round is 27th of June. I'm not sure the timings. I need to look those up. Gonna be a long night. Gonna be a long night, of course. But yeah, so yeah. And the New York Islanders, congratulations on making the first overall draft pick. And we'll see who you go for on Friday.